Back again here on Devoted Patriots 2 channel. If you haven't seen it already, I've got several minutes of the Zelensky getting his ass tore up, tag teamed by Trump and JD Vance. The final conclusion, what the blow up was at the end, and what was the final result. I've got it all here for you folks. If you haven't heard all the details of what has happened this afternoon, this is World Shaking Events. Every world leader was curious today. Was Zelensky going to sign off on the mineral rights? Was he going to go home with his tail between his legs? Was he going to get along with Trump? Were we going to negotiate peace today? What was going to happen? Well, we found out. Stick around, folks. Very good stuff. Very many memes and great clips to just blow this out of the water. Nothing but good stuff here today. All about Zelensky and Trump. Here we go.
This thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations. My bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
He's trying to paint Putin out to be a bad guy, which he is a bad guy. They're both dictators. But truth be known, Obama let Crimea fall to Russia because Zelensky wasn't there running the show, and the current leader wasn't doing his job to prevent Russia from taking the land. Who it belonged to first, none of my business. But Russia took over Crimea in 2014, 2015, while Obama allowed it, agreed to it, didn't bark about it, didn't have any issue with it. And he's trying to lay this off as, well, we hate Putin because he's been doing this for 10 years. Well, he has been doing it for 10 years. But under Trump's term, both times, Putin is only going to go so far with his actions. Zelensky cannot use us as his political shield, and it's showing that he needs us more than we need him. And there's no doubt about it. He doesn't have any ground to negotiate on at this point, but I decided I'd stop it there and bring that point up that that 2014 Crimea takeover and all the land that's been taken over since then, maybe even in this war, you've probably lost that land, Zelensky. They're not going to probably give it back to you willingly. I don't see that happening. Russia's got to get something out of this war besides losing their men as well. So we're going to get the mineral rights in the end. Zelensky's going to get a paycheck and get the hell out of there, and somebody else will take his place. And Russia will get the land that they've taken over, including Crimea they've had now for 10 years. That's what I believe. Just calling it early, folks. Could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Good. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
Yeah,
And do you think that it's
I
respectful
will
to come to the Oval Office of the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to
No,
dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No,
Yeah.
this entire
Even
meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
you're
of
speaking
America
about.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that
Campaign for Joe Biden was signing missiles with Ben Shapiro in Pennsylvania. I remember.
if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Smack him, Trump. Smack him.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American
Yeah.
people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried
respect.
there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what
that wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President.
Woo, that was rough. I bet everybody in the world was watching this. Every European leader was watching this go down today and said, holy shit, what just happened? The deal got blew up. And we have some more results, folks. Been a crazy day. A couple of things have happened, including the FBI issue that we'll talk about tomorrow. Excuse me. Says George Bahizzi says Brian Glenn asked Ukraine's hobo dictator the question of the century, and Vance loved it. Here we go. This is great. Somebody asked Zelensky, "Why don't you wear a suit?"
Second
question.
question.
My second question for President Zelensky. No. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, you have problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting.
I don't have such.
Office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe. Well,
maybe
something like yours, yes. Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Maybe a costume like this. Let me see if I can find it, folks. Hold on, folks. I think this is it. Hold on. Bear with me. No, this is not it. Let me jump out of here. Hold on, folks. That's a little bit of Zelensky for you, folks. That was his last gig. He kind of got a promotion somewhere along the way. All right, we'll get back into it, folks. We got several more clips. I want to go through some things that Trump said, what the final word on this whole situation was, how it got blowed up. I believe that Trump and Zelensky and Vance didn't come to any kind of solution. And so what happens? Trump and J.D. Vance just go to town on this guy, and it's over. They kicked him out. I hate to spoil it, but they literally kicked him out of the White House. In so many words, said there won't be a luncheon. We're done here. He wanted to go hobnob with his rhino friends and his Democrat buddies in the Senate. They got a little bit of a handshake, and it was out of there. Quickest I've ever seen somebody exited out of the White House. Here we go, folks.
This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us
Zelensky's
one moment.
SUV.
If you look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off?
Get out.
President Zelensky, can you tell us what happened?
And that's all she wrote. I ain't going to tell you no more about it at the moment. But I do have a surprise. If you stick around a little longer, he may be appearing somewhere tonight doing an interview. As far as the word we know right now, he's still got a live televised interview that's going to be happening tonight, or maybe not live, but a televised interview happening tonight. Well, Trump kicked him out, and I got a little clip of that as well. But after he done so, he made Trump made a statement. Says we had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation. Under such fire and pressure, it is amazing what comes out through emotion. Let me get my glasses on. And I have determined that Zelensky is not ready for peace in America, and is it if peace if America is involved because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in his cherished Oval Office. In this cherished Oval Office, says he can come back when he is ready for peace. I'm okay with that. Kick him out, send him home, let him figure it out. Now this is just a little mean, but I thought this was cool as shit. Check it out, folks. Read the sign. Wait for it. Minimum height requirement to beg for money. Somebody spelled money wrong. That's too good. Yeah, he didn't. He couldn't come to Congress this time and get a handout. He couldn't come to Trump and get a handout. But I'm sure he was talking to his rhino buddies about if Trump doesn't give you the money, we'll slide you some. Because he was getting it from both ends during the Biden administration. He'd come hit Biden up for some money, executive order, and then he'd hit Congress up for some money in a bill. He was double dipping. I believe he left the country with no money. That's what I believe is happening today. Now, this here was the finale of how we got to the point that Zelensky had to go.
He wants to make a deal. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? He wants to make a deal. I don't know.
We've seen enough. Skip the luncheon. Get out. That's about how it went down today, folks. No doubt about it. Little crybaby Zelensky's headed home for the day's out, it looks like. Says Zelensky released a statement after Trump Vance light him up and kick him out of the White House. Motorcade is pulling away. President Trump greets Zelensky this morning outside. He didn't even do that for Macron. Macron had to come find Trump in the building. Here we go. Let's see here what he said. No. Here it is. Wait a minute. Make a deal or you're out, Zelensky. After Trump's statement, Zelensky was told to leave the White House. I'm trying to find out what Zelensky said. Let me skip past it. Maybe the other article. I want to keep y'all hanging. Now, I got a couple more clips for you, and one of them is the fact that he's probably going to be on an interview this evening, as far as we know. It may take a day, and it may take a few days for it to come out, but we may get to hear Zelensky's version of what happened today. Now, Marco Rubio has already jumped into action to continue with the ending of our support for Ukraine's power grid. You said was funding Ukraine's power grid and all kinds of, or the title was for the power grid and all kinds of things in Ukraine, and that money has completely dried up since Doge got a hold of it. And now, for them to have internet services, power, any kind of infrastructure support from the United States, especially involving their utilities. We're no longer helping as of today. We have terminated our support, financial and in every way, over this meeting blowing up. And so Zelensky's probably going to get home to either no lights or no internet or both. He may have no plumbing when he gets home. I don't know how that works as far as how entrenched we are. We may pull our people out for the days out. We got people over there on the ground working to help fix his power lines or whatever's going on that all this money was going that way for. It says Brett Barr says his Zelensky interview is still a go for tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Should be interesting. We will have to see. That is still pending. Brett Baer, I assume that's Fox News. I'm thinking that's Fox News. Says I'm crying. Just I put out. I'm crying. Robert F. Kennedy put out. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. put out. Just past Zelensky in the hall. Small guy. I could bench him with one hand. I just thought I'd share that with y'all folks. I thought that was too comical. Apologize for the background noise, folks. It's such a beautiful day. I've got the front door open. Do my videos here in the living room near my front door. And if you haven't seen this yet, this is how we all feel about Zelensky right now. Let's get it done. Like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the comments. And hopefully everybody's going to have a wonderful weekend knowing that Zelensky just got kicked in the teeth, tag teamed, and thrown out of the White House to be sent home with nothing but a bad attitude and maybe no power when he gets there. I love it. I love it.